She's going to get us started here today. So,
So hi, like Emily said, my name is Faith Wallace. I'm an intern with Planned Parenthood Advocacy Fund. Luckily for my internship, I was placed with Ruthzee, and I've been lucky enough to work on her campaign to get her elected to Boston City Council.
And she's been amazing and great, and is one of the best canvassers we have on the team.
I have watched as Ruthzee has dedicated tons of time to showing up to the community, listening to their priorities and their issues. I have watched her do all of that work and at the same time still be a champion in fighting for reproductive freedom. Representative Presley also has been working as a lead sponsor for the Women's Protection Health Act.
Which passed the House.
Yes, we passed the House. Hell yeah. So we have all of that, and we are in a make or break moment right now. We can continue to let representatives put women's rights on the back burner. We can continue to watch full abortion bans passed state by state, or we can stand up and elect representatives like these two amazing women who will fight for reproductive freedom. And with that, I am extremely honored to introduce you to Representative Ayanna Presley.
Excellent job. Thank you so much. All right, well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good to be with you. Good to be home. Good to be in community. Good to be standing here with all of you justice seekers, community and movement builders. And that's really what this campaign and this moment is about. But before I say some brief remarks, and then you hear from Ruthzee, and then the most important thing happens as you get on these doors and continue to be in conversation in community, is I do want to just acknowledge Saeed. It was a candidate for public office, and I just want to say this. I mean, it's not easy to put yourself out there. It's not easy to put your name on the ballot, and then, when you don't have the outcome that you were working for, it's really easy to sort of just retreat. But Saeed has stayed engaged and involved and has been supportive of all these women in particular, but that are running for office. And I just wanted to say thank you for staying at it, Saeed, and we appreciate you as a civic leader. This is a very full circle moment. I can't get emotional, y'all, because I need to keep these lashes on. But there is a history and relationship here. I am so proud of the young woman that you have grown into, the leader that you have always been, and I'm grateful that the entire city of Boston is getting to see on full display what those closest to you have known for a long time. I want to thank you for your grace. I want to thank you for your conviction. I thank you for your humility. And this council needs Ruthzee. The fact that in my election in 2009 as the first woman of color, first black woman, and then when I was very humbled to be, elected to Congress and left that body, it felt good to know that that council had changed. And when I first ran for city council, I was the only woman in a field of 15 candidates and first woman of color elected. And then to leave that body and half of it to be represented by women and women of color, it's important that we retain that legacy and continue to build upon that work. Government is stronger and more effective when it reflects and represents the citizenry that it serves. It's not so that, we can just symbolically have evidence that we've progressed. It's because of how it shows up in our policies. And that's right, for the people. How it shows up, and how that representation shows up in our policies. Now, I am very proud to represent the third largest Haitian diaspora in the country. I co-chair the Congressional Haiti Caucus. And I also serve on the Financial Services Committee under the leadership of Chairwoman Maxine Waters. I was so grateful to get that appointment because I wanted to work on the issues of that committee: housing, homelessness, student debt, the unbanked, the underbanked, our financial services industry. Why did I want to work on those issues? Because the Massachusetts 7th Congressional District, which includes Boston, is a vibrant, diverse, and dynamic district and the most unequal in our Commonwealth. That did not just happen. That happened as a result of budgets that do not codify the values of all lives and policy violence, underinvestment and divestment of community, which is why none of us were surprised when this district was the hardest hit by the pandemic. So we find ourselves in an unprecedented moment. And what that moment demands of us is unprecedented leadership, unprecedented legislating, and unprecedented investment, and unprecedented vision, all of which we have in Ruthzee. Now, I have confidence in her ability to meet the moment, and I need her as a partner in government. While I'm in Washington right now fighting the fight to affirm that housing is a human right, that housing is infrastructure, I know that Ruthzee gets that because she's done that work. Yeah. She knows that eviction is a policy choice, it is a violent policy choice, and everyone deserves more than shelter, they deserve a home. And everyone deserves to be free from fear and discrimination in community. Every member of this community deserves for their humanity and their dignity to be centered, and I know that we will have that in Ruthzee. The last thing that I want to say is, it's so important that we have a leader like Ruthzee, someone of her integrity, someone of her commitment. We are at a moment of transition as a Commonwealth and a country. This is a critical inflection point. Now it's Sunday, and I have to bring Reverend Barber into this space. Now, Reverend Barber is someone who's a personal hero of mine who heads the Poor People's Campaign. And he said that if we're truly in a moment of a reckoning on racial injustice, what that moment demands of us is a reconstruction, a third reconstruction. We need community builders like Ruthzee to be at the fore of that reconstruction so that we do the work of ensuring that our recovery does not just take us back to a pre-COVID, unjust, status quo normal, but that we are charting a different path forward, changing the legacy and the outcomes of the Massachusetts 7th Congressional District, including and especially the city of Boston. Now, you have 9 days. And I will tell you, whenever I talk to people about Ruthzee, they say, she's doing great. Look at the polls. Do not pay attention to any of that. Because I don't ride the roller coaster. And the reason why I don't ride the roller coaster, even when it is allegedly on your side, you have to stay working, we have to stay organizing, we have to stay in dialogue with community, making sure that people know the stakes of this election, how important it is that we have municipal leaders in this recovery, like Ruthzee, doing this work. In our campaign in 2018, the polls had us down by 13 points. But a week later, we won by a decisive 17. Clap for the movement, not a testament to me. A testament to the power of organizing. When you don't make assumptions about who desires and deserves a seat at the table of democracy, but you engage everyone. When you don't ask someone for their vote first. What you care about first is their life, their struggles, their lived experiences, their ideas. You stay in dialogue, you stay in community, and we keep organizing and we keep mobilizing. So we have 9 days. We have early vote, and then we have election day. I need all of you to continue to make the case for why Ruthzee needs to be an at-large Boston City Councilor. And the last thing I want to say about why I don't follow the polls is because the polls cannot track transformation. And we are in a moment of transformation, and we need Ruthzee to be a leader at the forefront of that transformation and the change for the city of Boston. She is ready. She is the leader that we need for such a time as this, and she will meet the moment. So without any further ado, let's bring up Ruthzee so she can say a few words. get you all on these doors, and if we do our job, she will be the first Haitian American to serve on the Boston City Council. And she will, but I know that Ruthzee is not running to make history. She's running to make a difference.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman Presley. You have built a legacy for this city, for the City Council. Thank you, May, for the incredible work that you do, not only at Planned Parenthood, but is also as part of Team Ruthzee. And I will be forever indebted to you for all the work that you do. Because one thing I got to tell you guys about campaigns, it is never just about one person. One person cannot do this work. This is a lot of work, y'all. And me alone, I could not do this, but it's all of us working together. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruthzee Louijeune, and I'm running for Boston City Council at large. It is my sincere hope to earn each and every one of your votes, because I believe in what Boston can become. I believe that when we work together, we can fight for resources for our communities. We can fight for equity and excellence in all of our schools, affordable housing and homeownership, and as the Congresswoman said, assuring it as a human right. I am a daughter of this city. Mattapan, this is where I was born. Live in Hyde Park. My parents are Haitian immigrants who came here with nothing but a desire to create a better life for me and my 3 sisters, 2 of whom are here. And they worked really hard. My mom's first job was at McDonald's. My dad still works at a cafeteria at Northeastern. Working class families just trying to make it here in this city. You know, I grew up in Mattapan, and I tell people this and they laugh, but we didn't have locks on our doors, right? Because our home was a community home for anyone who needed food, for anyone who needed shelter. So that's the example that I have. So in the most basic sense, when people ask me, why am I running for Boston City Council at large? It is to be a good neighbor. It is because we owe each other a debt to show up for each other, to make sure that none of our neighbors are suffering from food insecurity, that everyone has a house over their head, that we can guarantee a good quality education for all of our kids that leads them on a pathway towards good families and getting jobs. I'm a BPS kid. I've seen the best of what we offer our young ones, and I've seen the worst. We got a lot of work to do, but I'm committed to do that work. I've represented families facing eviction and foreclosure, and just helped a nonprofit here secure $10 million in funding to help close the racial homeownership wealth gap. And in Dorchester, with the private market in this city worked together to stymie Black wealth. Black homeowners were sold homes at double the value that they then had to abandon because they couldn't keep up with these ballooning mortgage payments, and they sometimes had to experience foreclosure. So when we're talking about the resources that we need in these communities, it's the resources we deserve. It's the resources we are intentionally robbed of. When I talk about issues of equity, equity is about intentional action, corrective action to correct for the policy violence that a lot of our communities have experienced, and we have to be intentional about that. I'm running to meet the urgency of these issues as a lawyer, as an advocate, as someone who grew up in these streets and know all too well how Boston fails us. But I also believe in the possibility of all of us collectively. So yes, I'm running to be a representative, but the work doesn't stop on November 2nd, and y'all don't get a pass after y'all knock on these doors. Because the work continues. It's accountability, it's about showing up, it's about us collectively building the Boston that we want to see for our futures, right? Justine, for Nunu, for the kids that are coming in the future, for our reproductive justice. All of us, we all have to do the work. Pamela King, the work you've been doing with the Black COVID Coalition to make sure that our communities receive the vaccine and are educated about the vaccine. It's all of us together. I'm holding the mic, but it's all of us. So thank you all for being here. Like the Congresswoman said, don't believe the polls, don't believe the hype. We got work to do. I take nothing for granted, so we are to take nothing for granted. We get on the doors today. You tell people, yeah, she has a weird name, but she does the work, okay? She is here to represent every single neighborhood. Mattapan, Dorchester, Hyde Park, Roxbury, Mission Hill, Beacon Hill, East Boston. I'm running for every single neighborhood. Of course, there are neighborhoods that need more TLC, like Mattapan, like Dorchester, like Roxbury. Neighborhoods that have intentionally and historically been excluded from the table. But I'm running for everyone. I'm running for all of y'all, and I'm so happy to have you guys on my team. But I'm so humbled to have all of you on my team. because as I started off saying that this work is a collective effort with our campaign fellows like Paola, with my campaign staff, with so many of you guys who show up the first day, showed up at my house with a check without, drove away without asking questions. This is about community. This is about representation for the Haitian community that has not had representation in City Hall, even though, as the Congresswoman said, we're the third largest diaspora, right? So it's not just representation that I bring to the table, but it's an important part. When we talk about, when you've seen what's happened in Haiti in the last 6 or 7 months even, right? We need those voices, and we are grateful to have the Congresswoman fighting for all Haitians, right? Because we need that. Yeah. So I'm thankful and so grateful to have you all on the team. This work is not easy, but I've shown up everywhere with so much love and gratitude. This is an answering to a calling that God has given me to show up and be a voice and to fight. And I'm ready to fight, and I'm ready to have y'all all fight with me. So thank you.
All right, I want a Team Ruthzee on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Team Ruthzee! Look at helping my campaign. Collecting signatures, knocking on doors, voting, or preparing to vote. I really appreciate the parade. Remember the question? Hey! What's up? Send it to me. Okay. Thank you. Hey, baby. How you doing? Good. Sheila, nice to meet you. Hi. Elizabeth, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. We have a lot of food, a lot of good Haitian food, gourmet Creole catering. So, yeah. That's love. Yeah. You taking a photo? I'll take it. Okay. I feel like I have all this
I love blues music. Being down in like the with that, being able to go like the jazz clubs. I love Mississippi. I go back to R&B. I think a lot of people kind of just flip to it without really experiencing it. Yeah. It's not, certainly not for everyone, but I think it's a nice thing. I like the music anywhere. Yeah. Live music everywhere. It's similar even in New Orleans, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, Jackson is like
How are you? It's good, right? It's good. Oh, I can see that. When did it ship out? Yeah. So it's the same person who made them. It's the same person. Yeah. Rob, can you take a photo for us? I found that. As long as you take one. Of course. So, everyone? Yeah.
It's so good to have you all in one space to celebrate all of your hard work. Honestly, this campaign would not have run as smoothly and as effectively as it did without all of your tireless efforts. And so we are incredibly, incredibly grateful for everything that you have put in and all the time you dedicated. Yes. this over to the Woman of the Hour, I promised our delightful host that I will make a plug for some Christmas tunes that you can find on YouTube and Spotify, which is the Miracle on Warren Street. So if you're looking for something to keep your rooms full during the holidays, there's a lovely album out there that was recorded in this space. So please check it out and support some local artists. That being said, it is my pleasure to pass the mic over to Counselor-elect Ruthzee Louijeune.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Counselor.
Thank you so much. I'm Ruthzee Louijeune, and I'm your City Councilor at Large-elect. That would not have been, I did not think about what I would say other than thank you. So this is gonna be me ripping. But I would not be here without all of you. So honestly, just clap for yourselves and for your neighbors. Give each other high fives. High five. Thank you. Thanks for your work. High five, Junior. Really, because I always say campaigns are about people, and I had the best people. All of you all in here really showed up in different ways, because when you start a campaign, it's this idea of what you want to see and believing that we can be a better city, right? Believing that the Boston of my young years can be better than the Boston we can get better in now and in the future. And it's this idea, it's a seed, it's this small plant, and you see it grow, and it's just this web that captures all these different people as you go. So thank you so much for everyone who stood beside me. The work was difficult, but I hope that if you saw me on the campaign trail, you also saw how much love I got just from showing up in community, from with all of you, learning from each and every one of you, and the way that you would hear from me, and then you'd ask me questions, you would challenge me, and then you'd show up and you'd support with your time, with your dollars, with your energy and your enthusiasm, because I say this all the time, right? That is my photo and that's my name, Ruthzee, but this campaign and any campaign can't be about one person. It's about a vision. It's about believing in creating and fighting for a city where we center the issues that are important to working class families, that we are fighting for a city that centers equity and inclusivity and is working on racial justice, and is believing, as I do, because every time I say our young kids are brilliant, and we deserve to give them schools and opportunities that recognize and match their brilliance. And every day that we don't do that is a failure. So we gotta get to work in realizing that every kid in all of our neighborhoods, whether in Mattapan, Dorchester, Mission Hill, East Boston, wherever you find yourself, that you can dream big, right? My parents came here, as you all know, from Haiti with nothing, right? Shout out to all my Haitians in the room, continue. With nothing, and fought really hard for something, so that I could be something, and who knew what that would be. And I have to give a shout out to my Boston Public Schools, to the opportunities, to my libraries, to all the social infrastructure that made my story possible, right? And so I am so grateful for my parents, for their belief. I'm so grateful for the Haitian community for showing up, that shout out was real. I am the first Haitian American on Boston City Council. But I refuse to be the last, right? This work is about not only going forward, but making sure you're pulling everyone else with you. When we're talking about creating, I don't like saying things like New Boston, because we've always been here. It's about acknowledging that we are here and that we have a right to be at the table. So what are we talking about? We're talking about fighting for affordable housing in a city where all of our families so many of our families are being pushed out. Can't afford to buy here, can't afford to rent here. There's a lot of work that we have to do on that end, and I'm committed to doing that work and working with so many of you who are in here who work in the affordable housing space to make that a reality. It's talking about issues of education, it's talking about climate change and the climate crisis that is at our doorsteps, and what we need to do to make sure that all of our neighborhoods have expansive tree canopies and feel like they're protected when it rains, so that they're not flooding, that we're doing everything that we can to support our small businesses, especially our small businesses owned by people of color and by women. And so our budget is our value statement, and so we need to make sure that we fight for a city budget that reflects what we value. So it means building strong communities. It means making sure that we are building strong neighborhoods. And all of that work comes collectively, right? I'm at large, which means I care about every single neighborhood here in the city. But it also means making sure we pay extra attention and give extra love to the neighborhoods that are often not at the table, that don't get the love and representation that they belong. Mattapan, Roxbury, Dorchester. So thank you, right? Like, I thank all of you for buying into that vision. There are so many people, I just looking out here, like, that I would not be able to have done this with. Joanne, who would drop off signs. Sandy, who knocked on doors with me. Marinelle, talk shop, also held events at our home. JP Progressives are in the house. You know, supported me from the very beginning. Progressive, West Roxbury and Rosendale is in the house. Thank you so much. Friends from high school and childhood and study abroad friends and elementary school friends, give yourselves a shout out. Clap for yourselves, because I would not be here without you. All the ward committees, Bob Binney, who's like a supporter from the very beginning. I'm gonna get in trouble if I do individual shout outs, but also just, you know, what this campaign was about. During this campaign, my oldest sister started organizing her workplace so that her co-workers could have jobs that affirm their dignity, right? So we're not just about these things that I'm theorizing about. It's what we live, it's what my family lives, and it's what we experience. So it's about centering unions and making sure that we're doing everything we can to affirm each other's dignity. Works